I thought that was a really impressive victory for the Blues. Game 4, they get it done at home and they tie the series up 2-2. Keep in mind, Game 3, they got their asses kicked in their own building. They got their asses literally murdered in Game 3 and really embarrassed. They responded, and this game wasn't easy. Now, I thought the Blues controlled a lot of this game. They had a ton of opportunities. At one point, there was a 4-minute shift where they just kept pounding and kept cycling. They had the Bruins defense out there for so long. All of their players were extremely tired. They end up taking a penalty. But the Bruins scored a shorthanded goal right after that. And right then and there, the score's 2-2, and I said to myself, Damn. The crowd goes insanely quiet. Everyone's stunned because the Blues were making plays. The Blues were pumping shots on net. The Blues were creating so many opportunities and putting the puck on Tuukka Rask consistently. And the Bruins just score like that after a 4-minute shift of Blues dominance? I thought right then and there, the Blues potentially could have lost the game and go down 3-1 in the series. But they held together. They kept their composure. They continued to battle. And in the third period, off a far pad play, you have O'Reilly going hard to the net and getting the rebound and scoring his second of the night. He was a difference maker. He was a dog. He was a legitimate force in every aspect of the game. O'Reilly was a stud and a true leader out there as he scored 2 goals in today's game, and he ended up tying the series for the Blues. They played so hard. They really did. Not just that 4-minute shift that was insane in the second period, but early in the first period, after they score almost instantly, the amount of pressure the Blues put on the Blues, the amount of shots they put on Tuukka Rask, the atmosphere in the building was obviously felt through the 4 lines of the Bruins because they were feeding off the crowd. They were feeding off all the screaming fans with the rally towels going nuts in St. Louis. Realistically, the score should have been way more than just 3-2. Well, what did it finish? 4-2? Way more than 4-2. I thought the Blues absolutely outcompeted the Bruins, and the Bruins really didn't have any answers, which is crazy. Maybe the fact that the Bruins felt comfortable and felt confident after whooping them, maybe that played a factor, because the Blues right from the jump, right from the shoot, just on it. Completely outplayed them from the drop of the puck. Now, the shots 38-23 in favor of St. Louis. The Bruins blocked 15 shots, and they come in layers when it comes to blocking biscuits. It's sickening. It's just sickening how they put themselves in the proper position to block the biscuit almost every shot, it seems. Also, the Bruins lost Zdeno Chara. He ends up getting his stick on a puck. I believe it was Braden Shen coming down who ripped a wrister. It went off of his stick, deflected up into his teeth. Instantly, he skates off, blood dripping out of his face, and he comes back on the bench with a fishbowl on, but doesn't really play. He didn't have that much time on the ice, and that was a factor for the Blues being a little bit more successful than they were with him on the ice. Keep in mind, when the Blues won Game 2, the Bruins lost a defenseman as well, so they were down a man on the back end. Well, they win Game 4, the Bruins were down a man on the back end. You could say, well, full strength, they won't be able to win. I don't know if I go to that extreme. I'm saying the Blues are making the most of their opportunities. I never want to see anybody hurt, and neither do the Blues. But you can't control that. Injuries happen in this sport, and when the Bruins go down, especially on the back end, they're making the most of their opportunities, and they are taking advantage of that happening, because there is a monstrous difference of going with 6 defensemen and 5, especially when you lose a veteran player like Zdeno Chara, who you can trust in a lot of moments in PK situations, in 5-on-5 play. You're losing you are losing your leader back there with the defensive crew. Now, instead of going with your partner every time, now you got to go and rotate, and now you're playing with a new D partner all the time, and it's so different. And coming from experience, I hated playing with 5 defensemen when one man went down. You're with a different partner here and there, you get so tired, you get insanely tired, and you can see that. You could have saw the difference. What I liked about this game the most out of the Blues, at the end of the day, it was the effort level. Finishing hits, playing physical, being annoying, not letting the Bruins get to the net front, making sure the Bruins are uncomfortable. When you dump a puck in and they're going on the forecheck, hit. He moves it up the wall, he's hit. They chip it to the center, he's hit. The crowd was going crazy off these forechecks where hit, turnover, nice shot. The Blues had an A-plus game all around. And for Binnington, keep in mind, Binnington was a trash can in Game 3. He was terrible. He had to get yanked. Think about that mentally. And he steps in and then has a good performance today. Now, was the shorthanded goal a little weak? And I'm sure. But at the end of the day, he did enough to help his team win. It did seem, though, that far pad was the play today. Far pad. That was my nickname in high school, far pad. No, it wasn't. But I used it a lot. I'd be on a breakaway. What would I do? I'd cut right, go far pad, and wait for one of my teammates to drive hard to the net. Would I really do that? No. But I would always look far pad, though. It's an excellent play, and it works. And today it was the name of the game, far pad. I like that it's tied 2-2. Because of what this means moving forward. Game 5 is going to be insane. And realistically, the Bruins are not a great home team, which is nuts to even think about. Which is nuts to even think about. They're not a good home team. I don't know how that's even a thing. So that's why I think to myself, not that it's 100% or anything, but they can win in Boston in Game 5. They can. They're a good road team. It doesn't make any sense. They're a better road team than they are at home, it seems. How? It's nuts. No, to me, it's obvious that the Bruins are deeper and more skilled. But if the Blues can play the way they did today, if they can outcompete them, if they can play with more energy and way more physical than the Bruins, yeah, they can win themselves a damn hockey game. Game 5 is very important moving forward, of course. But I'm not counting the Blues out. They're not as skilled, but it comes down to how hard they work. It comes down to making the plays. And I thought all around tonight that they were the better hockey team from the top line to the bottom line. You're still looking for Boston's top guys. Where are they all? They're scoring shorthanded goals to tie the game up with some PK guys. Where's that top line? Where are some of their top players offensively? They haven't had their best series. I've been praising the Bruins' role players for quite some time now. Third, fourth liners. Now, they were on the minus side today, but all around through the first 4 games, they are the reason why the team is even involved as much as they are, the Bruins. But tonight, from top to bottom, it was all Blues. And I'm happy because I want to see more hockey. The way I feel watching this series, I would have never expected it, considering how brutal I thought the NHL playoffs were a whole this year. I remember during that 4-minute shift, my mouth was dropped. I'm sitting there watching the puck cycle. I've been in that situation on the defensive side. It's terrible. You want to get off the ice. You have a far change, too. You can't even change because your bench is on the other side. You're trying to ice the puck to gain at least some breathing time. You're trying to get the puck out. You're trying to change one guy at a time, but you have these guys cycle in using their body. You're swinging your stick. It's so exhausting. My mouth is dropped. How did the Blues not score at all? How did the Blues not score? How did they not get the puck behind the net? And just to see it collapse on the other side when you finally get a power play and you see the other team score. It's so deflating. So for them to actually still hold on smoothly, for them to still stay intact and stay together and say, let's keep pushing, boys. Impressive. Very impressive. And it all started with Ryan O'Reilly, who was the difference maker for the Blues. Let me know your thoughts down below. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.